Hi everyone, I'm Kim Vopni, the Vagina Coach, and in this video we're going to review how to complete a bladder diary. In this video we're going to go through how to complete your bladder diary and to interpret what the information means. Over ideally 3 to 4 days, you will put your name and date up on top. You'll print out 3 to 4 copies of this form, and for the entire day you are going to complete or record all of your input and your output. So input being your food and drink, and your output being your urination. So you're going to write down what you drank, the volume that you drank, what you ate, the volume of what you ate, and then you'll be recording how many times you went to the bathroom, what the length of time of your stream was, if there was any leakage, if there was any strong urgencies, and also what activity you were doing at the time. Normal voiding is every 2.5 to 4 hours. So about 5 to 9 times during the day, and ideally not at night or no more than once at night. If you're going more often than that, and especially if you're leaking and also experiencing strong urges, you want to start to pay attention to what might be contributing to that. So you can look at the foods, the food and the drink, the input that's coming in. Is there anything that could be considered a bladder irritant? And maybe there's something that you are sensitive to that may not be one of the more common bladder irritants, but it's irritating to you. So if you notice that every time you have a cup of green tea, you have stronger urges or you leak or you go more often, then you can probably assume that that's a bladder irritant for you. The same thing goes with foods. So start to notice if there's any trends with regards to what you consume and what symptoms you have as a result. The other thing you can start to pay attention to is potentially an activity that you were doing. So you may see that you have some habits that may have conditioned the bladder to start to signal you more often. So for instance, if you go every time just before you start an exercise class, what will happen over time is your bladder becomes conditioned to know that before every exercise class, it wants to void, so it'll start signaling you to void. If you void every time you leave the house to go out on a trip or to drive to the store, your bladder will start to signal you then. So just like your bladder can be trained to signal you more often, it can also be trained to signal you less often. Using a bladder diary can point out some of the habits and some of the foods that could be triggers for you, and then put you in a position of control that you can then start to retrain the bladder and undo those habits that may have been contributing to some of your challenges in the first place. So take this over again a period of 3 to 4 days. You can take it with you to your pelvic floor physiotherapy appointment, or you can also use it for your own information and potentially even send it to me and have me help you with a couple of questions to help you move on to the next step and start to get back control of your bladder and put you in the position of being the boss again. I hope that helps. This is how to complete your bladder diary and what the information means. So there you have it, all the information on how to complete your own bladder diary. This information can be helpful when retraining your bladder or trying to figure out what might be contributing to some of your symptoms of having to go to the bathroom all the time, senses of urgency, or maybe even leaking. I would love to send you a free copy of the bladder diary that I created. All you need to do is head over to vaginacoach.com, scroll down to the bottom and join the newsletter list. And once you join, you will be sent a free copy of my own bladder diary that you can use for your own health. I also invite you to check out my other video on how to retrain your bladder. A bladder diary is a really helpful tool when used for retraining the bladder, and it will help give you some incredible information that will help you take back control of your bladder.